Last time on Merkaat Manor, Flower, the head of the Whiskers family, violently evicted her daughter Mozart from the group after she had pups without permission. Now it looks as though Flower is about to turn her fury towards Mozart's sister, Tosca. The big skies of South Africa's Northern Cape are home to a remarkable family of meerkats known as the Whiskers. This extended family is led by matriarch Flower, mother of 21 and mistress of all she surveys. The Whiskers territory covers around 3 square kilometres of bush and sand dunes, and strategically placed around their burrows are a series of cameras to record their activities day and night. These tiny carnivores have been part of a 10-year study by Cambridge University, charting every detail of their lives in the wild. But when there are this many meerkats in one family, there's bound to be ups and downs. Flower is struggling to keep the family in line, especially as it's about to expand once more. From her size and shape, it looks as though Flower is pregnant again, and this is having repercussions throughout the family. Flower could have up to 3 litters a year, increasing the family by around 4 each time. But there's a limit to how many the family can support. Flower wants her pups to have the best possible start in life, so she simply cannot allow any other breeding females to stay in the group. It's a rule she enforces vigorously and viciously. Mozart was the first to suffer Flower's wrath when she was violently evicted after she had pups. Her sister Tosca also had a litter of pups and has already received 1 beating from Flower. She's in no hurry to repeat the experience, but it seems Flower has other plans. It's time to teach Tosca a lesson. Flower has spotted Tosca and gives chase through the bush. She runs for her life. Flower could kill her if she wanted to, but along with a bit of backup, settles for giving her some vicious bites to the base of her tail. These eviction wounds are Flower's way of saying, get out and stay out. The job done, Flower calms down, but she'll be watching Tosca closely to make sure she heeds the warning and leaves the family. Tosca is shaken after her experience, and if she's got any sense, she'll keep well away from Flower for now. Watching everything from a safe distance is her evicted sister, Mozart. She's been following the group around ever since she was thrown out and is desperate to return to her 2 pups. But after what's just happened, it's a hopeless situation. But it really is impossible for her to survive on her own. She needs their protection and their company, as well as Flower's leadership, to make it in this dangerous environment, so she follows them wherever they go. Flower has been busy sorting out the wayward females in the family, but the boys can be just as tricky. One of Mozart's little pups, Spud, is hassling Shakespeare. He's old enough to get his own lunch, so Shakespeare's not going to give up his scorpion. Begging and food stealing are par for the course in meerkat families. Everyone tries it on, and either you defend your food robustly or you go hungry. Flower's pup, Cruz, is about to find this out the hard way. She's caught herself a giant millipede, but her brother Mitch, who's a bit of a bully, fancies the millipede for himself. But despite Mitch's bad boy reputation, Cruz isn't going to give in without a fight. This is going to be nasty. The two siblings are too preoccupied with their fight to notice the millipede. He's had enough, and despite being half-eaten, decides to make a getaway. But his escape is short-lived, and he finally succumbs to the inevitable. The young thug Mitch gets his teeth into stolen goods. Flower's pups are showing the same vicious temperament as their mother, a fact not wasted on poor Tosca. She has decided not to risk another beating and has joined up with her sister Mozart for companionship. These two outsiders are no longer part of the Whiskers family and can only watch their pups growing up from a distance. It's unlikely that Flower would have evicted her daughters if she wasn't pregnant, but she can't risk allowing these two willful females to stay in the family. If they've had pups once, there is every chance they will do it again, and there'll be even more hungry mouths to feed. All the sisters can do for now is to comfort each other and hope that Flower has a change of heart. The fact that Flower and her partner Zaphod, the Whiskers' biggest male, reserve breeding rights exclusively for themselves makes life hard for everyone. Young females like Tosca and Mozart are not allowed to be mothers, and young males are not wanted as lovers. The boys' solution is to go hunting for females among other rival groups, risking life and limb for a taste of honey. For the likes of Eucerian, the Whiskers' resident misfit and brother of Zaphod, any opportunity to mate with a female is not to be missed. He used to be Flower's partner till his brother took his place, so he's one frustrated meerkat. The Whiskers are out foraging on the edge of their land. Every inch of this region belongs to a meerkat group, so occasional trespass into someone else's territory is inevitable. Unfortunately, today is one of those days, and they've wandered accidentally onto land belonging to a family called the Gattaca. They are quickly spotted, and the anxious Gattaca set about scent-marking their territory. There are only a few adults in this family, so they are vastly outnumbered by the Whiskers. But, being meerkats, they don't back down easily when territory is involved. The Whiskers aren't sure how to react. This is a simple mistake, but they are curious. Meerkats identify each other by scent rather than sight, so they have come in for a closer sniff. The Gattaca are becoming alarmed, and despite being hopelessly outnumbered, they perform a distinctive war dance towards the intruders. The Whiskers feel obliged to retaliate with their own display. But they didn't come looking for trouble, and their hearts just aren't in it. After a few minutes, everyone calms down. It was an innocent mistake by the Whiskers, and the Gattaca seem to know it. The Whiskers decide to leave the family in peace and head off to carry on foraging on their own land. But sometime after the rest of the family have moved on, a shifty-looking Eucerian is still hanging around. He clearly has a plan in mind, and it's got nothing to do with fighting. And he's not alone. He has a partner in crime, Big Will. It seems the two of them are on the lookout for any interesting Gattaca ladies. The Gattaca males are doing their best to warn them off by frantically laying down more scent marks. But crafty Eucerian is undaunted and is making steady progress towards an unattended part of the burrow. The Gattaca have sentries everywhere, but no one is sure where the two roguish Whiskers males are. Yossarian is using every trick in the book to get closer to his goal. The Gattaca males are on alert, but they're being outwitted. Yossarian and Big Will are desperate for a date, and nothing is going to put these two chances off. At last, they reach an entrance to the Gattaca burrow. All they have to do now is pluck up the courage to go inside. There just might be some obliging females down there. It's Yossarian who finally decides he's brave enough to check it out. Oh dear, it seems he ran into a gang of red-blooded Gattaca males. Better luck next time, lads. The rest of the group are unaware of the amorous behavior of two of their boys and are busily foraging. But they are not the only males in the family on the lookout for a bit of mischief. His kind Uncle Shakespeare is bringing Tosca's little pup Jogu a scorpion. But quick as a flash, Flower's pup Mitch whips in, grabs it off him, and wastes no time in munching every last morsel. It's a typically selfish act from this young tyrant. And as he's Flower's pup, no one does anything to stop him. Luckily, Jogu has been consoled with a big juicy lizard, and the whole incident is soon forgotten. But it seems that all his thieving isn't going to go unpunished after all. A few hours later, and the normally irrepressible Mitch is a shadow of his usual self. It would seem that his selfish ways are starting to catch up with him, and he is very sick indeed. None of the others have noticed him and are busy foraging. But poor Mitch is going downhill fast and is obviously feeling terrible. Something he has eaten did not agree with him at all, and now as the hours tick by, he's really starting to struggle. At the burrow, no one has noticed Mitch's plight, and the rest of the family are going about their normal business. If he stays out in the open in this condition, a bird of prey will eventually pick him off. So although Mitch is clearly feeling terrible, he has to find the strength to drag himself back to the burrow. Jogu, the little pup he stole a scorpion from, is sweet enough to come over and show there are no hard feelings and offer him some comfort. Mitch desperately needs the companionship of the family, so the touch of the others is deeply reassuring, and pups make great hot water bottles. Gradually, as the other meerkats return to the burrow, he's getting more and more attention. After all, he is Flower's pup. Finally, Mitch decides that the best place for him is below ground, where he can try and sleep off the worst effects of the poison. But looking this poorly, there's no guarantee that he will ever come out again. Despite her son's critical condition, Flower is taking no interest in his plight. She has other things on her mind. Her new pups are due any moment, and she's trying to get a last meal in before she gives birth. After a 70-day pregnancy, her body weight has increased by 40%, and she now weighs just over a kilo. For Mozart and Tosca, evicted by Flower for having pups, this may prove to be a turning point. Once Flower has given birth, there is a small chance that she may let one of them back into the group. If either of them is still producing milk, then Flower may want them to feed her pups while she's out foraging. But it's getting late, and with a last look to make sure all is well, she pops below ground for a long night giving birth. Tosca is exhausted after the emotional and physical trauma of her eviction, but at least she has her sister Mozart for warmth and comfort during the cold Kalahari night. The next morning, first up at the burrow is Flower, and she's looking distinctly slimmer. Safely hidden in a warm underground chamber will be her newborn pups, and they won't be out for at least 3 weeks. But what about her pup, Mitch? Amazingly, he has survived the night and seems fragile, but none the worse for his ordeal. It's been an eventful 24 hours, and everyone is grooming and chattering about the night before. Watching closely from a safe distance is Mozart. Life without the family is miserable, and she would dearly love to make it up with Flower and rejoin the group. Flower is unaware that she's being watched and is busy foraging. She is starving after giving birth. Tosca is also watching, but she hasn't got the guts to approach her. She watches in dismay as her sister Mozart goes up to Flower and does some serious sucking up. Mozart is doing her utmost to persuade Flower to allow her back into the family. Flower isn't attacking her, so perhaps she does want Mozart back in so she can feed her pups. It looks as if poor Tosca is going to have to face life alone after all, as her sister looks set to rejoin the group. Two-year-old Pookie, one of Flower's grown-up sons, has caught a toad for himself. It's a huge meal and will probably keep him going for the rest of the day. But Flower is on the prowl for breakfast, and she has a serious appetite this morning. Pookie has seen her and isn't taking any chances with this prized delicacy and tries to hide behind a bush. But Flower has spotted him and is going in for the kill. It seems that Pookie has outwitted his mum and is eating as quickly as he can. But a slip of the tongue and Flower seizes the slimy prize. Never underestimate a hungry mother. Mozart is back in the group once more, enjoying the benefits of being part of a family. With sentries keeping a lookout, she can forage with confidence again. But her newfound sense of security is about to be undermined once again. Right on cue, a familiar figure has reappeared. It's Carlos, a roving male from the Whisker's arch-rivals, the Lazuli. This sly male is on the lookout for any willing females, and his intentions are far from honourable. Like Usarian and Big Will, he is desperate to mate, but none of the females in his own group will oblige him. He had success with Daisy from the Whiskers before, but now it's Mozart who's caught his eye. But Flower and Zaphod are around and have caught his scent on the breeze. They're keeping a close watch on the family and won't tolerate any misbehavior. Carlos knows he is being watched and is keeping as low a profile as possible. But his presence has been noticed by Mozart, and despite everything she's been through recently, she can't help taking the bait. This is a very dangerous and foolhardy decision, but she simply can't resist him. Fortunately, Flower hasn't spotted them and is so far none the wiser. The two of them head for a secluded spot and away from prying eyes, finally get it together. The rest of the group saw them sneak off and are desperate to see what they're up to. The deed done, Carlos makes his getaway. Right under Zaphod's nose. Leaving Mozart to face the music. Wisely, she's being very submissive as the family all gather round to sniff her. The family can smell Carlos, so they scent-mark her to try and reaffirm her identity as a member of the Whiskers group, despite the smell of lazuli on her fur. If Mozart is to get away with this daft and reckless act, she's going to have to lay very low from now on. So much for being a reformed character. Luckily, Flower hasn't even noticed Mozart's return. Having given birth, she's becoming fertile and will soon be ready to mate again. So her partner Zaphod is taking no chances. The reappearance of Carlos has made him nervous, and he's sticking to Flower's side like glue. This mate guarding will go on for several days until she's no longer fertile, but Flower is already getting totally fed up with it. She's trying to give Zaphod his marching orders. Unfortunately, he's not listening, and she's probably going to have to put up with his male insecurity for a while longer. For the Whiskers, it's been a long and eventful day. Mitch survived his poisoning, Flower has had her latest litter of pups, and Mozart has made it back into the group. But as the sun sets over Merkaat Manor, all is not well with the family. Flower's latest litter of pups takes the head count to 40, close to the limit their territory can support. Something is going to have to give. Next time on Merkaat Manor, the family faces its biggest ever crisis, when a chance encounter splits the family in two and leaves some of them struggling for survival.